me na me control and the chese me na me control mini ho krampo na se bi o me ho kwan de mo de inti me hu se na Ghana fo nyina bebre mo Ghana mo India mo Japan mo China ewiase bebre UK Germany kofo bebre betan internet ne so a media na ebo na de chese abo so ena sebio na wedi soso nti mu nyina nyame nhira mo so a yabɔ mu dua a enche mu nyina mu bewu no so nyame nhira mo se bobo aye ma medin no eka mframam a nipa erenye mfimi eno ena kire eye odo a mo ma me ene sebio nidi a mo ma me ene se ne nka mu nyame anka mo beye nanso sebio nyankopɔn bɔ aboa ena onyankopɔn bɔkwase ama ne mbese se Kevin Taylor nti mumu dodo no muntumi nyete seme but yes debio ye de nkoa bi beye adwuma na ye ne adehye no ye din aka ni penum eni nti na me na otufo setutu ende sebio ne nananom ne wofa no mobu ya sebio achekura ne ye bɔ mu din because ye brapa ene sebio adehye nti se wo bɔ mi din bi se wodi mi din eye show a onyame enhyiraw na onkum ntam efiri se waboa me ama sebio medin ejina so nti nyame nhira mu nyina Kevin aba na de esi nyina ne se de na ekoso amente ya nipa bi ekekansam international no in fact I just came to say hello to omo mo hweme omo they've been fans, they've been following this platform bebeka hello achiro mo na as the days no eba ni nyina no they will start to warm up, we start to get into the mood bibian se dadana. Nothing has changed. Membo krono, mi wia obi ade, mi nku nipa. Enti dada na meka se dada no so a wote ase ai. Bibia sesan just say so refi ho a metuma kai wo. Bibia sesan wa ha membo krono sebio membo obi apo sebio men commit crime bia de na meye na meye ai constitution bia ni wiase chese de na meye no sebio ye bone wo se achibitum. Enti we de meka kire mo bibia dada na ai Kevin na maso ntirem no ai time ahumia na nkasa wo munum ni ana e flesh kakraba. Enti bibia sesan bibia gina na ye gina wejimi a yebeka se wejimi unim nyansa na ya de pa yebeka se onyame nhira yebebo abaso saa na tie the apostle and also the men who basically sent the gospel around, and they told us not to change the gospel, so the gospel is still intact. Bibian to me sisa because dia na wo se sisa wa ha facts no e wo se de bremo sebio obi a wejimi o se ka chen se wejimi na ontwe ne ho mfiri jimi mu. Bible kraka o se okwasea ene kana kumem so onyankopon ni ho enti se okwasea kana kumem so nyame ni ho a e wo se de bia no ye tenetene okwasea no Bible na asa kan ye se akwara da ho a se bi o na ojimi a ye twe ne so aba enti ade ne de gina ne defense na be bi gina na ye nsesa me yo bibini ba se ne mesiti ne mentumi ensesa da se mesesa na ye wusuban na manabasa enti jai kasa. Reggie Rockstone, good evening to the legend, Reggie Rockstone. Yenina, ye bibi former, said yet to me and Sada. Say yes, son, ye musubain na manabasa, intijai kasa. It be beyond society, me jim. Well, Oshameno also said the old Kevin Taylor, you know. The Kevin Taylor who was bringing the fact is still going to bring the fact. The Kevin Taylor who was harsh in his criticism is still going to be harsh in his criticism. The Kevin Taylor you know who is very constructive. Kevin Taylor you know who is very precise. The Kevin Taylor you know who is intelligent, honest, and bold. The Kevin Taylor who does not mince words. The platform that has been authentic for years. The platform that is not scared of any bully, any fool, any political dimwit. That platform is still intact. So my band de na ba bibia sesaye Jehovah from Bible etamechi Anglican ni akwara omon Bible tamechi Jew from penifo so e bom paye etamechi den ewia say bi krom ayado abosom etamechi omon pema asem ada obobom dibia na omon kwaso te omon nyina so sebio omonim se bekoso enti bibia sesaye se mabokro no abechi mikotum se sebio mde seka wo bi abeka kire me se mde seka wo mi amfa me kokot ne ko jeli me na sebio yete hanko ade de osekwasea ne yese ne kwasea de wejimi no yebeka kire se wejimi de oya de pa no na empenifo otumfo ahemfo akese wo Ghana bu be se de oya de pa ne ye pia no enti wejimi a yebetwe wesi fom na yakom na yakom amaw enti memo bia nya na adwun se bibia asesa ye me ya MPP ni ba mapa me wo party card oboase enam jemi card. Every single person around the world in Ghana, they know I am still a member of the NPP and I'm never going to leave the NPP because NPP muna me wo. The difference between me and omom wom sisi and so mo jimi Behunya Santina Matrim Hokakana Metiamo. So nothing has changed. I'm still an MPP member. And nobody can take that from me. I'm still paying my dues indirectly through people. I'm contesting for the national chairman, which I'll pick my forms very soon. So no TWEP, no individual can sit anywhere else and say, Kevin Taylor or customer NDC. I like the ideology, vision, humility, respect of the NDC. Their philosophy and idea, no, I believe in it because I have followed them for years. And I believe they think about Ghana. And that is the same thing I am trying to tell my fellow MPP piglets, that if you think about Ghana, if you respect the people, then think about their plight. So if you see me speak in favor of the vision ideas of the NDC, then it means the people in the NDC are being rational and intelligent, and they are being patriotic. So we say make us tia MPP na emu dodo na Jimmy na emu dodo na ese mprekomba omo ntie futuo ayiyim ene tribalism ene didi omu eno ntina magina nche ametia mo, but ekuo de meginem, and no fool Jimmy ni bia ni Ghana obetime me free MPP mu. Nobody. I am still a member of the NPP. And I'll still be a member of the NPP. And no fool can take me out. Iti dadana. Bibian society. Itu uja kwa. Maminchia 1 or 2 people. Na yemfa jumadi na enwom. Wode woman nimme. Wo bodam. I was on break. It was a beautiful one. I really enjoyed the holidays with my family. I was in Ghana for a month. I really enjoyed Ghana. I was out seeing people, visiting nice places, going to restaurants, enjoying myself. Maybe a majority of you what time I had one of the most beautiful experience. I went to some parts of Ghana which I really enjoyed myself. No crime to my culture and say my holidays in Ghana was beautiful. I came about 2 days ago, I think, and I was in Ghana for 4 solid weeks. Tama be free Ghana no. Me call holidays in Ghana. Me join say 4 weeks with the mo MPP for na mo Jim no kamo besu nyansa ka say this is a space. Kevin ni ho daddy ko inti yanka nyansa sem. Afena me hu say you people are very foolish. Afena me hu all those people say they are speaking for the NPP. Those who are also not bold enough to say, yeah, you are my NPP. No, I got to know, say, you people, you are just foolish. You are just foolish because I gave you 4 weeks. 4 weeks, I was not on air. 4 solid weeks. You people could not sell any legitimate, factual message to the people. It was all about Kevin Taylor. And no, it's not about me. You people still don't get it. It is not about me. It is not about John Mahama as a person. It is about you selling your message and your candidate. And I still believe that the MPP, you still not gotten it. Mona Mokasama MPP. If you're for I say, Jimmy, you don't want to think. It is not about me. Initially, Moka said, I don't reach anywhere. I don't go anywhere. Before the NDC came to power, you said Kevin Taylor, they were wine with Jimmy Diana, okay, na se me did ya tema NDC aba power did ya tema MPP mra power oh how na saying inti so 4 weeks and I realized it said no MPP for Jimmy ye, because you did not have any direction, you did not have any facts to back anything you said. It was all about speculations. It was all about looking for somebody to be like. You all want to be like me. You all want to have a platform like me. It is not easy. Makachamo, a consistency. It takes time. It takes experience. It takes humility, sacrifice. This thing I do, it is not for some reason. Intina, Nansen, I discover ade onyame cheme. Apart from my talent, working here, talking to people, and even people who don't like me watching me. Nina say, Nansen, I'm who say. Onyame machede bia se me ka asem tia wo pe ebebem. Enti I'm being very careful people who say things about me not to get angry. So what's steady when you take a step back, and this is something that I realized recently, that anybody who pissed me off, me can't be no, they are all going through some kind of problems. And enti so obi coming one sema na obi jina baby coming one sema, I try not to even think about it. I try not to even take it personal, because say bia me kofa ho ebufu na beka bibia e bia de ebeto no expect it, and I'll see you feeling like miserable for the rest of your life. And so what's steady? I don't fight. I don't give attention to things. I don't respond to things. It is because I want to save people. It is because I want to protect people. Because me take a step back about 3-4 years and who say, all the people I basically set things against who were lying about me and me count. You can pick them one after the other. Nobody is doing well. If I don't take care, I will destroy lives. Because say obi Jimmy or Jimmy, then kwasi akeke bi oka enti menene be back to back. Asema meka bia no it will manifest. Ebia na akwara da woyem, ebia na akwara da wonaso, ebia na wo yiri da baby, ukruda na akoye ade aseo. Enti I have to find a way to control it. But that does not mean I will not criticize. There's a difference between criticizing and being very angry about something. It is what's the so obi bombidin, obi kabibi tiame, obi I try to protect them. So I have become a guided angel. I'm guiding people. I am protecting people, their lives, because I don't want people to feel miserable. This is the time you need to look within you and see what God has given you. My track record, Obia wa picking anything on me, said anything bad about me, decided to gang up against me. All of them, their lives have been messed up. And I pray for them every day. It is not my fault. It is what God has given me. Because I do this with a clean heart. I do this with abuache, intelligence. I do this with a nyamedo. Let's try not to get into things we don't understand. It's an advice to so many people watching me. Don't force yourself to get into things you don't understand. $500, $300, $500. If you try to make me your target, I'm being honest with you. This is an advice I will not give again. It's an advice I will not give again. Please just sit back and say, Asama kwane kan ma mentwa meni nkwohwe mechi. Inti twa weni kwohwe wechi. Ansa na de nyame de ache me no, efrima no aba. Because efrima no ba, I cannot take it back. I'm being very honest here. Now, nipa bebre ehwe me on YouTube, on Facebook. Ade na ekoso amenti ya nipa wiki concept. Team, stay with me, please. 8 minutes to 9 p.m. And then I just show no ade akwa we tahiru or disturb my brabo pa o. So I just want to say good evening to El Lamte ni or Dati watching me tonight. Me who obi so to say too many names here. Where do I start from? My man starting free Mickey F watching me tonight. Akosia Tena is also live. Obi to say Emmanuel Esibi watching me tonight on Facebook. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Francis is live here. Chairman is also watching me tonight. Good evening to Inkoto 101, and also good evening to Chairman Free Mind. You can follow Inkoto 101 on Facebook and on YouTube. Very effective, guys. They are still hitting very hard. Part of the Loud Silence Media Group, and these guys are doing wonderful. So you can go on YouTube or Facebook and follow Inkoto 101, and also Free Mind Family News, and also Free Mind Family and Free Mind Family News. Follow the pages; they are affiliated to us, and as you can see, the authenticity, the facts, and all that, it's there. So if you're watching me tonight and then the first time, look for these two channels and follow Inkoto 101, NKOTO 101 on YouTube and also on Facebook, and Free Mind Family and also Free Mind Family News. Free Mind, FREEMIND. FAMILY, Free Mind Family. It's on Facebook and also Free Mind Family News. They are all platforms that are authentic platforms. You can get all your quality news. All these platforms are affiliated to Loud Silence Media. So remember, they are there to serve you better stuff. Also, I will say, Ghana, when it comes to radio shows, it is Radio Gold, Pampaso, Ransford Kebuachi, and a hostess show. No, make a date every afternoon. When I was in Ghana, every afternoon, Ransford Kebuachi, wonderful guy, very consistent in his questioning and also consistent in his work. And so, and you Ghana, na we are open afternoon show. Radio Gold Pampaso by with Ransford K. Boachi, and also another show Obetumi Ashe. Team, remind me of all the guys that we need to put on. We are going to start putting on all of them back on TV. Very important. Remember, Urefi said these are the people who saved Ghana. I give them a lot of credit because they worked so hard to bring Ghana back on track. And internet, we are all enjoying Ghana under the leadership of the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama. And the Onyami Akano Nipa Entumi Enseno. Mameka hello girls and kakra. Na Emmanuel Dawson, Cindy Esnam. Good evening, Cindy, for watching me tonight. Recently I watched an interview Anna KKD, right? Kwesi Chedakwa. And I really like the way he was bold about a year and the bar and what people and the questions about his son and who his son is and what his son is, and as a father would do, how he defended his son. And hey, Okabibi, or say when the kids get to a certain point or in life, there are some things you have control over. You can take care of it. Some things that are out of your reach, let it be out of your reach. Pray and make sure it works out. And every father should be bold enough to defend their child. And I'm not saying, say, Akrane Yebonia, you don't have to say. But the moment where people try to put your son, your daughter, in a place, Abra Omo Saani Pano, when you look into them, they are worse than your child. You should be a parent who should be bold enough to defend your child. And it's very, very important. No man is holy, only God is Jah. So nobody's perfect to judge any man. And I watched it and I was like, I just like how he was bold to defend his son. Whatever or whoever his son is, it is his problem. It is Onwanebane problem. You don't have, if you think Obrana Obono Eduko Yesua, just do that. Jai KK di Bamano. So, it is not your cup of tea. And we all need to understand that. As Ghanaians, people's business are our business. We take people's business and we want to look into it, put our nose. No, let people be people and be yourself. Because you yourself, when you are questioned about things you do, people don't know. You will see, say, you are the worst on this planet. So people should mind their business. People should mind their business. We are in the modern world where you can decide to be who you want to be. And I want to say the bottom line is I really like the way he defended his son. I would do that any day. I would defend my kids because I gave birth to them. It's his responsibility to defend Akorano. And also interested in the banner but at the end of the day, Nibano is over 18 and the kid has the right to do whatever he wants to do. It's very, very important. Now, Bomayan Fanshisha so Edian Ekoso in Sembibri Ekoswa a year 1 month ya yamba on air no. Nipa Bibri Ekikan Sem na Sesia and Sem no Dorso. MPP4, I would like to say something. They say in the show no a rough cut and shedder and follow any a year structure because we just came to tell you we are back. From Ochinekono, we're doing hard hitting and breaking things down. 1 month here, I saw say a year in Sembibrisi. And you see, sometimes the NPP as a political party, I know my dream say, I hate them. I don't. What they need to understand and they say, Jimmy. What the MPP needs to understand and they say, they don't understand the new Ghanaian, even the old Ghanaian. The NPP, they still don't get it. The way they used to do their politics from 1996, ABC 2026, they still are doing the same thing. The NPP, they believe, say, when they lie consistently, when they incite people or they make everything about sentiments, it will draw people to them for them to be given power. It does not work like that. And we could do Ghana, who say Ghana for they have gotten to that point where for the NPP to come to power, come very banchi. Ghana near onim nyansa. Ghana near onim the left from right. Ghana near with tasty governance from different parties. Ghana near own Jimmy will never vote for the MPP. And you see, sometimes when we talk about these things, we make us say, Kevin Taylor, no, we did the attempt. That's a media attempt been committed crime. And it brings me back to people being arrested in Ghana because they have committed a crime. And we need to let the young people, MPP mu a omugin so do MPP chain omukwaji ademudie de te party no baafo akoto ne nasefo no ana enkwara na maba no Gen Z fo na maba na mwejimi na monte politics ase no. Most of you guys will end up in jail because the MPP no atro na omudi kire mu no de bi omo ho adwene am se mujimi na mutim no ene na betumi aba mo tumi enye adwuma biem. Hwe those times na the NPP does things and get away with it. Or Obeka said they get away with murder. In the 90s, all the way to the early 2000s, so many things were not recorded. So many things were not recorded. In fact, you and I, we do 50 years. You and I, we basically were listening to people on radio we had not even seen physically before. We were listening to people on radio. In fact, we didn't even know 90% of them, their background. Whether it was legitimate, their certifications they were saying they had, whether it was real. 90% of the people who were speaking to us through different mediums, whether TV or radio, we saw them as the creme de la creme, the finest brains. From 96, maybe the early 2000s to the mid 2000s, Ghanaians were just soaking trash. And you see, the NPP, fortunately or unfortunately, were in the business of acquiring a radio, the leaders of the NPP. Until you realize to say, most people, like myself, I ended up in Accra going to school there. But we all, the people, the way we saw them, we imagined them, the way we basically respected their intelligence, we felt that they had read white. We thought that they knew everything they were talking about and that it didn't have any kind of agenda. So we all fell for them. We were like sheep they say nine. Inti Obakonona omutiti radio. So anopa me, I have not seen Kwame Sefa kind before. I have not seen Opegre Jukumda. Kwekubako ni ehuni say about journalism munyansa. Kwekubako kasa no ano. Now, you Egbert Fable. No, we saw all these people, but we didn't have direct relationship with them, or we didn't even see them. It was all about their voice. So at a point, Ghanaians came to worship voices that were empty, voices that were working in the interest of people they worshipped, voices that were using us to build their lives. So at a point, you realize, say, your radio, so now in Sembe we were soaking because we didn't know where it was coming from. Now at a point in Ghana, your history, you needed to go sit at a cafe for about 3 hours and send a Russo for you to even access go.com, for you to even watch MySpace. So there were some people who really took over the conversation. For a long time, we were made to believe Nanado Dan Kwekufuado. And in the Bushiafo were the most intelligent people. Kufuado Yehuni Sunipada. J.A. Kufuor, very honorable man. On di boneda, politics on fan and sanka obiada, or we sikada nyan jantra sabada, Kufuor and who crojin, or bagana no capra. So we were made to believe that. Inti yedimuana fe akwesibronia sa kofa eye okofa eye internet buy. Afeda in Bebunu Kakra Munyini from a year the 2000s, the late 90s, no, they almost started to say, Nasa some way, said and no cressao. Because Oko Abe for computer no swa and internet no swa, said the Omokano, the Omaka Babesin then, and yes, Sankasanet. Now, you know, the MPP, they have a way to lie. And the way they lie, and they say, Obet me control 99%, not or the no crab aqua film. Inti utie na omanom diti radio so ya de no otumi ditro 99%, not the 1% no kraba akwa fam. Inti wo ye nipa na wadwene na fom pa na wonim nyansa kwasie be betena radio so aka say ba omia de train enam nsuase no na ekufo de nam wiem deshe. Inti ababa bedru a point where MPP4 still don't understand They still don't respect the intelligence of a young Ghanaian, an old Ghanaian. NPP for still, I'm going to say your mommy for any wafafobi, any yanananumbia, obuhufunu krada, NPP tribunasanet. The party was today. I'm not doing any hard hitting show, but I want you to, I'm refreshing, I want you to be sharp. Say the bear start your channel, Jidimu, a man for Betias. NPP for down would say you will cross Ghana. Imagine you say, so I'm about TV, so radio, so no kasa, Ghana baby, the Oma can also be a fa. They are still not there. They still don't understand. And saying it is a chinko for. Now, I couldn't tell the chinko for you and say, na omo ya nyome bia entwa ye. Ni nyina na saying. So far Ghana abekwa Ghana constitution abekwa 7 abekwa 9. Over Ghana a constitution na emra bebre wom and emra na wom no ebia ne eho asotwe ene de da ho a eni se wo ye ene de wo ye enti o se atinyo me bia se for a long time MPP as a political party no omo tirimu no omo feel so entitled to say eni se Ghana ni bia hwe MPP enim ka chen se wo jimi. Now they have been so entitled. Their minds have been shaping to the point where they feel say, politics no, they are the royals. Omo ya adishye. Omo Jimmy kura menka so mu Jimmy. Omo wiadie kura menka so mu wiadie. You don't have the right to tell them say, adia uye kwasi ade na oye ntema oya kwasia. Don't do that because. From the time you take party, the two mutim say party no inferior no into being to me casentiao. Even sa wu Jimmy Kra and needs to be cassetiao. The same way who send Napo, Ejina TV so, Ejina stage was Santimemu, a Jimmy no water town, okay, can't quasiasam. Still, na party no, people were offended, say, Yakacha Napo say, Kasa or Kasa and Yansa Kasa, a Jimmy Kasa, Yan penny 4, and Kokromo 12 general party moi, no mu defending Napo, because almost all no, sa, I did be at the two mutrim. Oh, yeah, MPP need their own Yakwasia, so young Kwasia, the cry, Yambo Abaso. So the party has still not realized that they are still stuck in that old mentality of we are MPP. Ye Jimmy Kramenka saying. Now, recently, a lot of arrests have been made in Ghana, and some convictions. So, esi ya chichin kofuatum. Ninyana say nipebi AUZ nipebi anwasem ed misleading young people in Ghana. Emma emudodo no enya problems. Mama ka bi nche mo amotie me no. Mo more TikTok, more Facebook, mo se mo ye communicators. Me ekobedu. Mabo video bi wa ha na obi abo Kevin Taylor. Nobody in Ghana can come out and say Kevin Ekobedu Taylor Fantinia Wunini mixed tribe but threaten the life of a president. Nobody. So then it means Omo say Kevin Taylor did diatem. They know say be diatem, but mean threaten life. So you see the difference. They be able to know kasa, hey, Kevin Taylor no. Now boy ne so tiabruchi no kwase na diatem no, it's fine. But Ghana mrano, so we diatem a enya dean. Enya bone e bechi wakotum, but say o threaten nipa. O ka say yanku nipa. O ka say asimesi obi nkoku no. O ka say oya sana ubedem. And all these people who have been arrested and some prosecuted as we speak are yejeli bino 99.99%. In fact, all of them, they threatened the president of the republic. And he said, Obiti radio so, Obiti TV so. Now our catcher say, Kevin Taylor, time and MPP what power no diatem. Yes, na me diatem because ni padodo no more MPP mo boom and no more Jimmy. Yes. Let me say this again. Kevin Taylor, time and Ekufuado ya president no, Baumia ya vice president na odim penifo na tem. Yes. Na me di o matem. If you say na emudu do ne Jimmy. But did I threaten to kill Ekufuado? No. Did I threaten Mahamudu Baumia the Joker? No. What I did was I criticized them, and I criticized them hard. The words I used, you might not like it, but it was never a crime. Time my MPP what power. Me nguso bi akogina court say Kevin Taylor has threatened me. The closest we saw was Kennedy Japan said yen me defame into about American courts. And the Krobedu in America for say Sebio in Sana Wokan Kanyanse man can free Ghana ma. That's the closest Kennedy Japan got. But you know, defamation and threat in Ghana, a chargeable offense. I'll be to my kodem. We need to know the difference between WADR attenye a moral thing. Attenye a moral thing. Ebi awodi na yatete wo fia a Christopher wom. Yatete wo efia enkremofo na wom. Wo de o abring ne nche se o se obi etia wo kon so omia wo hwe akora eni se oka asem yatia no na okun. It is moral thing. Wo na why you say so obi ya de na nya obeka se sebio de wo ye ne nye. He says obeka se de wo ye na ejimi no. It is your thing. So morally, if I choose to insult somebody, it does not make me somebody who has committed a crime. But if you decide to say you threaten the life of another person, per the Constitution of Ghana, so you can go on social media, you can go on Facebook, you can criticize the president, you can criticize the ministers constructively. If a minister is silly, tell him he's silly. But if you say this minister, also with them because you have crossed that line. Intimwa mon koran na mudi MPP echi no. Obi ka kire mo say, "Ai na Kevin Taylor ye say no busa ne say, de Kevin Taylor ye no. Say de Kevin Taylor ye na o gina so de aka de o ye ade no onye bi." Because the issue here is so the MPP fu echi na ende wo hwe me. Now we catch them say, yes, Kevin Taylor, a coup for the Tesla dinatem and so. But send a banya ba. Now bana catcher say, a 10-year crown, you are 10 year a extreme. O crosses the line a bet chua. Actually, wait, Jimmy, and I'll be cross the line. And I would like to tell this government, anybody who threatens the president, threatens any Ghanaian, that person should be arrested, prosecuted, jailed. If the president and this government, in fact, the institutions that have been given the mandate to do that, they fail, we will come after you because it is very important. If you want to criticize, you can. If you want to say somebody is acting foolish, you can do that. But for you to go to the extent of threatening lives, if anybody, and I want to say to this government, Jimmy Nibi obe threatening president, ne yere ne ba minister, every single person. Jimmy Nibia obetna social media. And I'm saying this to the Ghana Police Service, the CID department, every agency that has been mandated to make sure that crime is not committed. Say obiti Ghana. Na say oyana adwene say he or she is going to do what? Is going to threaten the life of the president, threaten the life of a minister, a member of parliament, any individual who is a Ghanaian, that person needs to be arrested. Massa. Nobody should sit in Ghana and say, Mikochi obi a yebeka sabano, cheno, jailino. So, 50 ya, chiomo, ne jaili omo. Because if the government fails to do that, what we are going to do is, we are going to make sure the government pays for it. I am not going to sit here and entertain any foolish boy or girl who thinks that because of politics in tea or but threaten. I don't threaten people. Morally, if you think media temunti, minyobia mibuadia, it is your problem, it is not my problem. Because Oba Ghana, you only pay omu wi preku. Omu yeden, omu wi nenchie. You only pay so omu wi nenchie ewo Ghana, but omu wi preku. So a choices, a moral choice. Because I disagree. The laws of Ghana does not make it a crime. But so if you disagree with Obi or your Ghana President Penyini, now say over threaten the life the government are buying show the jail 15 years. You, the MPP followers, you are so stupid. Now let's read this. Mube jail. And I know why I'm doing this because Mumu Bebre Mubeko jail. Now, when you read this document, this is Ghana Mra. Makwasiye bi metena TV so nka say ye nkwara no mugu TikTok no ye nkwara no e wona bo so ye kwasia o ye wo no ho ye nkwara no de echichi omo me say wo ye kwasia ye wo no ho waba okro mu da onimu maame asɛm a wo ka no busan sɛ ade no no ɔnka sɛ wo se Kevin Taylor di atem ade na ka sɛ ade no no so ndi atem mnante asɛm na wo ka na ɔno ka sɛ kɔso ka na ka sɛ ɔkɔtena TV so a ɔnka na ɔka wi a na ɔhwɛ bebi obɛgyina kwasiafoɔ. Now in Ghana, threatening another person with death is specifically a criminal offense. Ghana mranu no kyerɛ sɛ woyɛ den wo threaten obi life sɛ wobɛkuna ɛwɔ sɛ wokɔdam ɛyɛ criminal offense. In Kofono Mugu prison, 99% of them, they did what? They threatened the life of the president, the president's wife. Abaning ya bonibia, police in ya bonibia, rebuilding, no, resetting, no. O reset your maya, dear Nipebiya, Enya, Emo Mano, Sebione, what SAS time, no, o resetting, no, Quasibia, diatem, and I said, Sebi, or threaten, or be life, also them, Emran kind of clearly. Now, when you go for it, says this, it is dealt with under the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, rather than primarily under the Constitution. Inti ewomrada wa sa o threaten obi so obekuna e wo so ukogine fiachi ye jelu. Inti from ende, anybody who threatens a Ghanaian, whether the president, whether the vice, whether anybody, obikro only to me no. So you Ghana ni na utina TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, den. At certain obi lives obi kuna na obi kuna. I will say ye jailu, and I totally wholeheartedly do what support it, and we will all make sure it happens. Moya sibi and the TikTok are clean. Moya sina Facebook are clean, and the monje sibi inframani mo sham. Ni nyina say obakwasia jail in order. Now, Mami Kobenim. What the law says, Embrana dia neka, make a chow, o ya near choy, be jelu, he. Yan on Facebook, TikTok, o can't say me now what to be a better report on ya chow. Yeah, and normal. Yeah, internet snitches. Yan is right and anamo. Yeah, o can't be being with what to be a better chow, ya betcha ube dum. Yan you are the internet snitches. Yes, a police dog. Yeah, cheers, yes, Sniffiness, yeah, who's our twabia, Heaven Kofano of Abufunu, and Brandon make catcher or no. Wega, a show too. Quasia for Munimunansa. Yana son of Padia Papaya to near the ADA, sense of the chair, no, any and TikTok, Facebook, near him. Oh, dear, oh, yes, so better to be alive as I can out. You have been called, Mudamu Pamon try here. Yeah, but show what Bomodam. Paragraph 3, Ossidian, and I quote, a person, no, what the law says, Section 75 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29 provides, and I quote, a person who threatens any other person with death with intent to put that other person in fear of death commits a second-degree felony. End of quote. You see, Ghana nibia sebio obekacho nyonku Ghana ni say wo mekun wo de me fa kwan bi so krampa me yiwe firi ho te say wadwiri mu no kura no tumi ka say de me yawo no wo sa nipa no o say ye chew if you say the Criminal Offence Act 1960 no is stating out clearly way enya degree na ohia to understand ochina o threaten obi o Facebook TikTok ya be chew ekufo ade ne hwe abeda ubedam Mahmoud Baumia about Ubedem, and this is non-negotiable. You would go to jail. Remember, this is not a time for us to be like this. You go to jail. Give me 5 minutes. Give me 3 minutes. Team, I want you to pull something out for me. Give me 5 minutes. There's something I want to do.
The NPP cannot be underestimated. You know it, I know it. They've been in existence for a long time and have been changing their names up till this day. The nature of who they are. Listen. Munjir, the nature of who they are, what they are, where they've come from, is something they are happy with, and they will be there for a long time. Let's not mimic their behavior. Let us reach into the principles and the values that emerged out of the circumstances that gave birth to us. And if we can hold onto those principles and those values, we will move way into the future and no one can ever defeat us. We will ride and override any obstacle as we did in the past. The NPP cannot be underestimated. You know it, I know it. They've been in existence for a long time and have been changing their names up till this day. The nature of who they are. Listen. Munjir. The nature of who they are, what they are, where they've come from, is something they are happy with, and they will be there for a long time. Let's not mimic their behavior.
So, so the laws are clear. Say, Obia, I was say, Udum. And all my they deserve to be in jail. You might have your own reservations because why do you say politics as usual? Why buy any power? And at the end, no, they have committed a crime. They need to be in jail. And in fact, most of them are supposed to stay in jail for long because they threatened people. This is not the issue of, you see, sentiments. Being emotional about issues does not change the facts in court. Being emotional about issues does not change the facts in court. When a judge sits, they look at the facts. So your commentary outside and the tables will turn, the future is pregnant, and we will see what will happen. It does not change the facts in court. Because when the MPP were in power, I'm not trying to equalize anything, the facts in court made so many people go to jail. Why is the NPP opposition? Now the court, they are dealing with the fact. You are sitting there saying, say, when the tables turn, what you people need to do, MPP, you need to be going around and advising those who talk to you and say, it is not about Kevin Taylor. It is not about what Kevin Taylor says. Because from what Kevin Taylor is saying, and I say, what Kevin Taylor says, he has not threatened anybody's life. That is what the MPP you need to do. You need to call these piglets on social media, on Facebook, whatever, and tell them, why a bit much threat Kevin Taylor threatening saying Kevin Nipakona for Kevin Taylor and court. Because when I would defend this uncle, so be surrounded by Obekunwa. Are you going to sit there? No, you are going to report. It is a MPP in Munyansa. They just have to do what? They just have to get up and say, we want to make sure we train, we talk to your followers. And say, what you are doing, when it's threatened, you go to jail. Because so one moment, Tiasia, will say, the right, but don't want to go to jail, and they have to be in jail. Now, when you read the last part of this document, it says, so if someone tells another person, for example, and I quote, I will kill you, and the circumstances show that the person intended to put that victim in fear or being killed, that can constitute the offense of threat of death. So obikra threat obi say wo mekum keke. So obi go to TikTok I say Muhammad ye mekuno. Muhammad ye minyana mekuno. Hwe mo amwo mo koku Muhammad at sa enokra keke no obedem. Ubedem. If you don't underestimate these things, remember kwasiebia or per party position and adao. And say the table will change. In the koka say, Omwa echi omukoshebu nyina wo busu afo TV so da. Omwa because of threats kaso mbeku nipa yenkoku president yenkoku wei yense what is omu nipa ehiafo mba buburo nkwasiafo and more will go to jail. I can promise you that. So many of you people will go to jail. It is when you threaten and you incite, and you actually will say, I can threaten and incite. Oh, man, munya na munkuno. Ukasa ubedem. Now, let me show you something. Media education na me send be ya ba TikTok. Na se be hu say o threaten obi and now we incite it. A group of people or some people say omunkoku obi omunko say ya na yeso catch police ni achew. Se me yebia catch police na nipa no file complain ya mechime. Se me catch enkoku obi a, but as far as I know, when I insult, I don't threaten, I don't incite. Me catch enkoku obi nkuno. Me catch enkoku obi eye dey entwanity. It is a why you say MPP ni your papa dia it will be na TikTok akeka nkwase asema wo bedam. And you see that idea of pampering people in Ghana nkwasiafo ai we de uchi ya ba bema ai wo ba bema chi obi say ye de emra no achi obi akotum because of the kwasia na wa adwene o say wo ba bema obechi obi a unya power na wachi obi because obi eni wa ye chi na time no free no go to jail obi a ye chi bia went through the court. See, so obi a court it is the court that makes sure say emra ni di into there for kwasia tina oga say ya ban ba power into meka we ubedem. We are on social media, we have men, they are monitoring every single statement. You can criticize, you can insult, nobody cares, but if you threaten and incite, you go to jail. Me catch is a promise. Now let's read this. Under the Criminal Offences Act 1960 Act 29, a second-degree felony is punishable by imprisonment for a term not exceeding 10 years, where no specific punishment is provided for the particular offense. You see, Ghana Mranich say, Yefre BB Criminal Offences Act 1960, you'll be a second-degree felony. And then they say, Udi Sadiano, U threaten, U incite, you can go to prison, bet much what to not less than 10 years. Not exceeding 10 years. It went to them 9 years, 8 years, 7 years, 6 years. Ube them, and you see, the issue is say, I know say, made them make us all TikTok and gentlemen, you betcha. Yane, ya ready. Me a kobedu, me nkasi yanko kumobi. Me inciting groups of mkokuni pebi. What I do is I criticize, yes, I insult, but I have not committed a crime for insulting. Mwanga boy sankuma ene mumpeni for mu team nanim eka kire mu say so udi atema enya crime atenie any threat different things unless you don't understand. So meka say akwa we de oyejimifo ne kasa ne nye ade okan na nyansa bi edim a medina tem kra me commit crime. But so meka say akwa we oyejimifo wonko chini kwatwa ne tia ma commit offense. Inti samo kasa mu nsue nyansa na mu ejimi. And I want to let you people know maame fo na mo hwe me no Papa for a moshe me, mo magugu TikTok, muntu omofo say, hey, Kevin Taylor na aka achira mo no. Ukoye kin na echiwa obedem because emrana da ho. It states it clearly. Enya de ebe so kwase bia so. Wa obe wa adwene say, Ghana mrado pe so obus no, ko busa say reset na say kire say. Ko busa say reset no, as kire say. Now, when you read the second paragraph, let me read this to you. Netie. Second paragraph, let's say. So right now we have established, say, death threats. Ubetuma dem between 1 and 9 years, and exceeded 10 years. Okot TikTok, I say, I munku president, no, munku ne yere no, ubetuma dem 9 years, 9.5 years, ube dem. Now, for threats of death under Section 75, therefore, the offense is classified as second-degree felony, and a court can impose imprisonment within applicable statutory limits. Inti, memo bianya na ajene say, obeka asema fa nwedi, me MPP ni, onya MPP ni nchen ba fa akoto wie sikadete party. Yes, we na mo pese bo betino. Sa asema me kai obi ani obetuma cheme. Me se ba fa akoto no oje bribe and odete party, obi ani obetuma cheme, me commit crime bia o Ghana. Yes. Because about for kotono ya chiame onya £700. Na say sa chiame no oja de mudie. Sa chairman who some Katia na offer me court, but that is not a criminal offense. But so better TV so got and a young go back for go to the so when Jimmy at Tio, I know moon. When Jimmy Timo sorry, anyway, mediatum at the end of the day, Ghana branches my committed crime, a moral. It's a moral thing. Ebia Kevin, with the attempt enye fatao, Bema find to say, who offend out the atemi, a Miami decision. TMA, now we are kwasia. Me say, these are decisions we make personally, they are moral decisions. Hey, now Brantia Pana would the attempt say, Mia and Pessa Mia Brantia mediatum. Hey, now Brantia and whoever say na Cassa if you don't know what did patem, Mia, Obagana Brema, me ya de, me commit crime. But se me decided say meka say yemekum meka che the people say mo dia mo tete na mo body trimutuo na mo kuna that one ma committee an offense nipa na meka tia de betuma acheme aban betuma achire me abuya say ade na meka asem no in this media anything that uti senkofo say Kevin di atem time Akufo-Addo was but obi antumi ka say Kevin committee crime obi antumi ka say Kevin explicitly ka say yenkoku obi no obi antumi ka say Kevin committed crime because no catch a Ghana for nya so mo check for obunkunu no enti so when Jimmy a na obi atena TV so I catch say ai Kevin dey attempt yes the only attempt that no got na show asu a wow problem but as far as I know so one person be called jailer you need to refrain from crossing the line of being threatening people or inciting people you need not to so I catch will say sebio mini anwa santefo sebio mumubi Mundi no kre into na MPP dada mo am incite obia I am letting them understand. So I say Asante bi Nicaragua for bi mama MPP sebio ejimi mu I'm not inciting anybody against them. So I say Asante bi petumia omo MPP for omo petumia omo say akanfo nyina mbra together na omo nya tumi wia na omo de tumi na komenhia na omo je so omo makare jimi I am not inciting anybody against you. I am letting you know. There's a difference between inciting, threatening, and insults. And tomorrow, Korana mugu social media, TikTok na mwejimi no. No. We are on social media. There are so many people like myself. We are monitoring. Ubedem. Mesidia ubedem. At this point, I have no option than to do what? To advise you. Yeah? You see this? This was 2024. 2024. The Joker. I catch the Ghana for say Joker mean the move because Bawumia is Joker. Bawumia calls for NDC organizers prosecution over alleged insult be dropped. Now, this is 2026, sorry. Recently, NDCDB ekansem egu Bawumia ufin ekansem ana enim misinformation and disinformation. Or can some atu bi so abranya no kre. Wachechira some order to Bawumia so abranya no kre. And a police kofa nipa no say omri ko gina court. Mahamudu Bawumia eka kire NDC aban any police security agency nya say abrante na wa commit crime. Because when you read the criminal act, who read the Ghana Mrana, they are branded here, were committed crime. Now, at the end of the day, who is in charge of every single Ghanaian's security is the Ghana Security Services, the police, the military, Yoku, CID office. They are in charge of Obia security, including ex-vice president Enenehire. Now, Obia committed a crime against the state. Remember, this man calling himself Bawumia, Sebio says Sebio okenkan ade na onim nyansa obehu say obi commit crime even when one can say you don't have the right to say o ma oba na nye bibi okro. The moment you give birth to your child in Ghana, it becomes a property of the Republic of Ghana. It is obi commit crime by misinforming, disinforming, saying things about obi to say Bawumia na aban no police, military, Yoko, the security agencies China. It is not because of you, Bawumia Ntini Chino. Yeah, chini pani because we committee offense etia or minor mra. Bawumia Jimmy Kakranti, he thought this is politics as usual. Bawumia Jini wa form nipa mo ben no entumi tunu form mo jiminti. He thought it was let us do this for political fans. No. The arrest now, police service arrested. They are not arrested because of you, Bawumia. They arrested the man because he committed a crime against the state, against the constitution. Now, do you understand? And then when the chest Bawumia didn't form, Bawumia nitisa kuraba na adwene wo form ontumi ndwene beyond baby ojina. Because when somebody goes to steal, and it is the state against Kwame Atta, that means obi ko wiade na eche no na ye hu nipa krompa sebio okowia de free na aban tumi kire di ko gina court na prosecutor agina ho akasa wo wiade ade na wo wiade na most important because etia Ghana mra. You as an ex-vice president who is daft, the state, Ghana's constitution is trying to protect you because politics ama mumu bi mu agimi ewo MPP munti nobody could advise Bawumia say the arrest na yakwache sa NDC no or misinform disinform can some egu hufi no. It is not about you, it is about the state making sure they do their job. Senebeya obiabe say yewo emra echechere man no. And this arrest police arrest NDC communicator no. The arrest was to make sure nobody disinforms, misinforms, say things that are not true on other people. But you see, December 2026. Now, when you go to 2024, Mahmoud Bawumia ende obia kan sem etonso. As we speak today, Bawumia is being paid by the taxpayer. Bawumia is being taken care of like a slave by the taxpayer. Me and you and I, Yesika Bawumia. Bawumia is our property. We take care of Bawumia. Ne draws obeshe, insu obenum, baby obedare, baby obeda, ka obetrim, per diem, yani Bawumia. He's our property. He's like a puppet. He's like a doll on our lap. Into everything about Bawumia, it should be the concern of the state. Now, Mahmoud Bawumia okase ende obia disinforming amaline no adifemu na abino, and I'm talking about the state taking care of it now or say no. In 2024, Mahmoud Bawumia said, beware of misinformation, disinformation. Mahmoud Bawumia. The same person, and because of dirty politics, childish, mediocre politics in 2024, he was preaching against disinformation and misinformation. This is the same clown who is out there telling us to say, so be against the state's laws, the criminal act offenses, any idea. We should not do it because the same. It is not about you. Because if this arrest the NDC made was about you, Bawumia, now okay, say the state, the constitution should allow the man go. And you, Bawumia, you don't need the protection of Ghana Police Service. You don't need the national security to protect you. You don't even need to take salary from us as Ghanaians. Because say, oh, gee, protection. Oh, Bawumia to kwanya ope police. Oh, to kwanya ope military. Utukwaya open national security protect you. That is what the constitution provides. That's what the act says. It needs to protect every single Ghanaian from the people who malign, disinform, misinform, who even try to do what? Harm you. Now, why are one American Muslim? You want the state to provide you with security. You want the state to give you shelter. You want the state to give you salary. But because if you don't want us to, the state, the constitution to protect you, they don't demand anything from the state. And I keep saying Bawumia is childish. Bawumia is not ripe to be a leader. Bawumia is not somebody you can trust to make decisions that a leader or a responsible and things or be proactive would take. No. If you don't want the state to make sure they protect you from misinformation, disinformation, defamation, maligning, then don't also expect the state to give you any protection. Don't expect the state to give you any kind of security. Don't expect the state to give you any salary. Now, it's a why one American Muslim out of Ghana. Also, now, when you read the 2024 statement from Mahmoud Bawumia, and then Thursday, I wanted to take it slow. Now, the vice president, this 2024, no what power, no. Ana mo just say Jimmy. Una mo Jimmy Tiana mo munye competition. The vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has warned against the increasingly powerful influence of misinformation and disinformation on national development, especially as the nation heads towards presidential and parliamentary elections. Now, August will say he has therefore called on all stakeholders, including the military and other security agencies, to be alert and vigilant to avoid falling for fake and misleading materials that could lead to unnecessary actions. Now, Bawumia's statement, now, disinformation campaigns targeted at both the civil populace, you, the armed forces and government. Now, TBB, I am making red. No, this is about Bawumia's words. And I quote, "We must understand that these acts do not only have the potential to throw the country into a state of anarchy, but also impact the wider security of the West African region. I encourage you, particularly after being given a detailed insight into the democratic control of the military, do dwell on the teachings to conduct yourselves professionally. It is imperative to ensure that stability and the tenets of democracy are upheld always." End of quote. Mahamudu Bawumia in 2024 was telling Ghana telling the military, telling the security agencies to do what? Protect every single citizen from misinformation, disinformation, defamation. Na koto de budget. And the work opposition na NDC ni bi kasetia kansama enim na odibibi to so na abide the states. Sa emrana na ujina hosha obatakarike kankwasi asem no is taking care of business. Why better just say you don't need it? If you don't need states to protect you, then you don't deserve anything from the state. Me say, Mungo kanche mo Bawumia no, the clown. Criminal Offences Act, my committee biana. Mungo ganche mo Bawumia no, the clown. Say ose oyinya state no be born ho ban from misinformation, disinformation, maligning and whatever, then he should not also seek any help from the state. He's not supposed to write to the government protocol that he needs state protection. Who has state protection? We are American Muslim, who you preku and I won't preku kwine. Why also you preku and so person don't preku kwine. You don't need the state, but you want the state to give you money. You want the state to give you shelter. You want the state to protect you. No. We are not going to live in a jungle where people decide which one should favor them. We are not going to entertain this nonsense. If you don't need a state to arrest people, defaming you, destroying, and they're going against the constitution and the laws, then you don't have the moral right to even ask for a penny from the government of the day. Because the state's responsibility is to protect every single individual, including you, an American Muslim who does not eat pork but drink pork soup. So I am letting the MPP understand, and we call break, we must a demonstration. Democracy under attack. Moi. Wow. Mo yankwasi afo mo MPP for.
What's the day? November to November. Me I know my no calendar. Come on, let's ride. I'm a running man. Higher than life, no challenger. Trace my loss for the charisma. Chasing those no scavengers. Chasing those no scavengers. What's the day? As I'm a city ball in a K won't yes, you're not as I'm in the sign. War. Only one to walk on with 3 bumping as you're not as I'm in the sign. And the detail no evidence. I go to chill like a relax. And the detail no evidence. I go to chill like a oh no, I'm a pop star. You know, sir, I'm a pop star. You know, sir, I'm a pop star. Yeah. You know, sir, I'm a pop.
Hello and welcome to Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. Face to Face is our weekly discussion show where we do a one-on-one interview discussing the big stories of the week with the big personalities who understand the issues better, who either are bothered or affected by the issue in one way or the other. I am Omaru Sanda Amado. This is Channel 1 Television. Today on Face to Face, my guest is seeking for a national elected position in the New Patriotic Party, but he has also been a subject of demonstrations in his favor over his recent arrest, and he has also been part of a demonstration which the party said was to protect and preserve our democracy. I introduce him when we come back. Please stay. My guest on Face to Face today is Dennis Miracles Abuaji. He's a former municipal chief executive who became a coordinator of an office in charge of our decentralization. Subsequently was appointed Director of Communication for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia in the 2024 election, at the time Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. And currently he speaks for the NPP flag bearer. Dennis, you're welcome to Face to Face. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
It's good. You look like a small